Welcome back. In the previous video, we understood what is data transformation and how do you go about validating the data transformation. Data transformation is changing the format, structure, values of the data and converting them into clean, usable data as per the business requirements. So, what are we doing as a part of the data transformation validation? We are validating the transformation specified as per the mapping document. Remember, our Bible is mapping document. So how do we go about the data transformation validation? First, we will review the source to target mapping document. Then apply the transformation on the source data using SQL queries. And then compare the results of the query you have built to apply the transformations with the transformed data of the target table. Let us experience this with a very simple example in the hands-on. I have already created the tables which I would be using for the transformation validations. Which are they? One is EMP underscore source. The second one is EMP underscore target. The third one is EMP underscore target one. So these tables we created already as a part of the data completeness validation. We are going to use the same tables for transformation validation. If you haven't created these tables, kindly go ahead and create the table and start with the transformation validation. Let us look at the data first. So here I'm saying select start from EMP underscore source. There you go. We have 8 columns: EMP ID, first name, last name, department name, joining date, city, gender, and salary. The transformation what we are looking at to experience the transformation validation is very simple. What is the transformation? The transformation involves concatenating the first name with the last name. Assume that that is mentioned as a part of the mapping document. So by looking at the mapping document, developer would have gone ahead and applied the transformation and loaded the data into the target table. What is the target table here? Target table is EMP underscore TGT. Let us go ahead and fetch the data from that. This is our target table. You can see first name and last name of the source table has been concatenated and loaded into a column called full name, and you can see all these values. The first is Sanya Iyer. Sanya is the first name, Iyer is the last name. Those two are concatenated and loaded into the target table. So how do we validate this? First, we have to write a query to apply the transformation. Let's do that. There are multiple ways to apply the transformation. One of the way which I am doing here is using a concat function, because I need to join the first name with the last name and compare that with the target table. So concat function takes 2 arguments: the name of the first column and the name of the second column, in which we need to concatenate the values from the first column with the values of the second column. So this is how I am applying the transformation on the source table. Let's go ahead and execute this. Wonderful. You can see first name, last name, and concat. This is the column in which we are applying a transformation. You can see all the values are proper here. So what is the next task? We got to compare this column. Let me go ahead and rename this column for the better visibility. Let me do that. Okay, I renamed that as a transformed column. I need to compare the transformed column of a source table with the column of target table. Which is the target table here? emp underscore target. Let me bring up that. Okay, this is the column of interest. See, if I'm selecting this column from the target table. So let us go ahead and start validating. Sanya Iyer, okay, correct here. And Kritika Rai, yes, correct. Yes, Priyanka Chopra, yes, it's correct. So most of the values looks correct to me at the outset. Do we have only 17 rows or 20 rows or 50 rows in the real data warehouse? Not really. There'll be millions of records. Is it possible to compare values of a transformed column with the target column? No, it doesn't make sense to compare the values of millions of records. So what we will do now is we'll combine these two queries and do the comparison as a part of the SQL query only. That will save lot of effort for us. Let's go ahead and do that. The way I have combined the queries, if you see, first I'm selecting few columns. I'm aliasing the source table to A, the target table to B, and joining these tables based on the EMP ID. Then I'll apply the transformation on the source table, compare that result with the column of target table. That is how I'm validating. Wonderful. This looks so good because there are no problem between the source and target. All the first names are properly concatenated with the last names and they're loaded into the target table. Just to make you experience, we have introduced a couple of errors in one more target table. Let us do the transformation validation by using that target table. It is the same query except that I have changed the target table name as emp underscore target1 tgt1, right? All other things remain same. Let me go ahead and hit the enter button. Oh, there is a problem here. You can see the first name and the last name is Athar Kumar. Ideally, in the target table, we should get Athar Kumar. But because of some of the mistake done by the developer, instead of Kumar, it is mentioned as a K. That is not according to the requirement. This is how we approach the transformation validation. Wonderful. Please do practice it. Thank you.